He is a friend of the Native peoples, and we are very honored that he took the time today to be with us. Please welcome Governor Bill Richardson.
Thank you very much. And that very nice introduction, Angela slipped in that I was very soon leaving office. And so did Charlie. So I acknowledge I'm a lame duck. So what lame ducks do, they talk about the things that they've done. Hopefully the good things. Before I give you my prepared remarks, and they're not going to be very long. Wilma Mankiller. I just was telling Charlie, I knew her very well. When I was in the Congress for those 15 years, we couldn't get the Congress as an institution to form a subcommittee on Native American affairs. We tried, we'd do everything we could. And it wasn't until Wilma Mankiller shamed me and an Oklahoma congressman by the name of Mike Simon. And I don't know what she told Simon, but she said, Richardson, you're weak. Go up to the leaders and get this done. She never called me congressman. In fact, when I became governor in UN, she always called me Richardson. But she was a strong, passionate woman. And when she died some 6 months ago, I put out a statement basically acknowledging the great contribution she made, at least the way I knew it in the Congress in creating that first Native American subcommittee. The other person who is not here, besides Wilma, that I acknowledge for my strong interest in Native American issues, was Congressman Mo Yuba, who, when I came to the Congress, you have this tradition of giving 1-minute speeches at the start of the session. You can literally say anything you want, as long as it's not obscenities. And I got up and I gave a speech, I think, on foreign policy. And I was coming out of the well of the House, and Mo Udall stood in front of me, blocking my exit. He was about 6'8". And he said to me, I want you to concentrate on Indian issues. The Indian people have no spokesman here. There's me, there's Barry, I said Barry Goldwater, and a few others. And I won't forget that. And in recognizing Wilma Mankiller, I wanted to just leave you with a brief message, and then I'll start bragging about what we've done in New Mexico. I think this is a very good conference because the federal agencies here, I understand, their objective is to listen to the Native Americans, not for a bunch of non-Native Americans to give speeches and this is the way it should be. It's sort of listening to the first Americans, but also first Americans recognizing that there are federal agencies on civil rights issues that I believe are on the side of our Native Americans, that want to help, that want to just do justice. I hate to use the word help because it always means there's a dependency. But ever since I've been in public life, I do believe the federal government, the Congress, bipartisan administrations, should be paying more attention to Native American people. And a good part of that is listening. And so I commend the various agency representatives. I had a nice briefing from Angela and some of the other leaders of the conference about what the federal agencies here hope to do. And that is to convince the Native Americans that it's a partnership. But that in your listening section, I don't know when that'll be in the course of the conference, but I hope our Native American communities from around the country, and certainly the ones from New Mexico, can express candidly what your grievances may be. And I understand many of them need addressing. All I know is that, without getting partisan, that this administration, I believe, is conscious of issues relating to proper immigration procedures and civil rights and many other arenas that have been neglected in the past. Now, I'm going to start bragging, and then I'll leave. You know, I want to brag because my state here is a backdrop of three cultures. It's really four cultures, with the African American, Hispanic, Anglo. And one of the biggest compliments that Wilma Mankey gave me when she said, "Richardson, you know what? You're almost an Indian." She said that to me. I was telling her I was Hispanic, and she'd make fun of my last name, Richardson. She'd say, "Yeah, that's very Hispanic." But I say that because New Mexico, in our last 8 years, I believe, has become probably the most progressive state when it comes to respecting the sovereignty of the Native American tribes, nations, and cultures. And this law school here, UNM Law School, has been for many years committed to Native American law and educating Native American lawyers. And I often come to the dean of this law school. I don't know if he's here, but he's the one that prepares judges for me. Gets names for me, and I've appointed Native American judges. Half of my 105 appointments have been women and minorities. And I'm very proud of that. So this center here, UNM, does a very good job. I want to also